And we are live! Hey everybody! How are you doing?
Sorry, I just want to quickly get my TV louder.
Where did that come from?
No, I was like, sounded like a male Miss Froggy.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. I did put my phone somewhere. Anyway, how are you all doing? Sorry, I'm a bit disorganized tonight.
Sock puppet.
There's my phone. I just have to keep my phone handy because I need to take the bread out the oven in about a half an hour, so just gotta make sure I got the phone with me. How are you guys all doing? Hey Michael and PJ, I know you guys are eating.
I'm not eating. I've finished eating now. I'm good.
I'll be about 10-15 minutes and then I'll be able to talk. I'm not going to talk with my mouth full of food.
Yeah, I've finished eating a minute ago.
So I'm just going to say hi to everybody in chat. Face Reality, hey mate, Michael Kahn, PJ Smith, Matthew Eastman, Keith Fern, good to see you, Moomin Rider, Ox Spirit, and Jumbo Romkeen. Hey, it's good to see new faces in here. Hope you're doing well. Moomin Rider, starting early, and he says, Mr. Soccer is naked. Yeah, he loves to go all natural.
Hey, Flats, who's PJ Smith?
I don't know. He's like some guy that hangs around the element as well. He sounds just like you, though. It's good to have new names here. It's good to see you, Keith. You do know that's the same name I have. Anyway, and Mojo, hey, good to see you, mate. If you guys haven't already, please just hit that share button and like button so we can get it out to more people. And Andy M, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you can all make it. If you guys haven't already, this is the part 3 of the Nathan Oakley and Patrick series, where they obliterate the opponents. We've been laughing quite nicely, I must say. So we'll see what's going on this stream. Like I said, I'm very disorganized today. I don't know. I don't know what.
You have to play it twice.
I don't know why I'm so disorganized. Sorry, guys. There we go. Hey, Dustin Bones, good to see you. It's just one of those days, I guess. There we go. At least it makes a bit to show I am not professional. So that helps, keeps the people here. So you guys ready to go on?
Absolutely.
I just put it back to more or less where we ended off yesterday. So I think this is a good place to start. Let's go.
As denied by one of this show hosts and affirmed by the other. We know what the globe Earth claims, you don't. We know how the Earth's measured flat with elevation angle measurements, to Polaris giving you your maps and models, including the globe. Your globe's a flat Earth model.
Okay, real quick. Okay, Patrick, it's up to you. You want to go first? I want to let you respond to this. And then I have a few questions coming out of the chat that I'm just going to throw in there.
I gotta go let my kids in. I'll be right back.
Okay,
So I respond to the Walter Bislin model real quick. When Nathan says it begs the question, it's very important to realize how fundamental a flaw in logic that is. We asked at the very beginning, is there any evidence that the horizon is Earth curve? We haven't heard any so far, and actually the answer that we got from Josh was, no, you won't see Earth curve because the Earth is too big.
Yeah, and this is an hour and 17 minutes, and this is practically what's happened, guys. For those that don't know, Josh and his DW guy have literally, since the beginning, just threw away their own model, actually. They don't actually have anything to present, and then they just overtalk and mute. And call fallacies out that don't even know it. So yeah, that's about it so far.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So Patrick, I think he did an awesome job, especially when Nathan is usually muted and stuff. I think Patrick did a great job.
A statement that you can falsify doing simple geometry. And then you go to Walter Bislin's little computation. He starts by begging the question that the Earth is a sphere of radius 3959. And then, when the horizon is not where it's supposed to be, he has a whole bunch of other little rigs that he can put in there and say, well, this is why the horizon is different this time. It's this imaginary friend that globe believers have. When they don't find the horizon where it's supposed to be, they explain the Earth curve is not there because it's being hidden by this, that, or the other. Again, begging the question, we know that the Earth curve is being hidden because we know it's a globe. It is circular reasoning. Every
No,
single
that's
time.
incorrect, Patrick.
That's not incorrect. He's right. It's circular reasoning. It's 100% correct. But I like to see what his reason is why it's not correct though. Dustin Burns, I did search a lot and I think I found one in Denmark, which is not far away. I would do it, but I don't trust you having the money. So, is Dustin Bones willing to climb in the spacesuit, Moomin? That should be interesting. Climbing a spacesuit inside a vacuum. Yeah, Moomin Rider's been having a thing for quite a few years where he would let the Globers, he'd give them 10k if they would climb in a spacesuit and into a vacuum and survive.
Whoa, dude, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even think about it.
So far, Dustin Bone says he's keen to do it, so that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, more better him than me.
Yeah. Hey, Tent, good to see you, mate. Think you can make it. Then you have to ask the guys. Why do you think you never see any footage of actual astronauts, or we call them astronauts, actually training in like the Sandusky vacuum? And then when they do show vacuums like with James May, they don't actually pressurize it because they have the Navy standing there with him in this thing without suits on. So yeah, very odd.
The way they're doing this, because they're not just making a model with math, they're also confirming it with direct observations, and they're doing it repeatedly. So that's the difference, right? Is there's got to be a missing link, and they would have a response for that particular math that you're bringing up and showing where that flaw is, right?
Yes.
I don't have that. I'm not an expert on that.
But the expert was Nick West. Sorry to interrupt.
If we do actual people observations, like, I mean, one of the oldest things that actually, let me go to the audience because they have some of these questions. I'll just throw them in and I'll let you guys chew them apart. So, number one, why can't you see Polaris from the southern hemisphere or Sigma Octantis from the northern hemisphere?
So
That's the
first
question.
hemisphere is a begging the question fallacy again. Like atmosphere, it's assuming that Polaris isn't visible from the bottom half of a sphere. Meanwhile, the maps and models are derived from elevation angle measurements.
Yeah, we
to
answered
Polaris.
this last night.
So the flat maps and flat models, including the globe, which is converted from these elevation angle measurements to Polaris by way of something called the Haversine formula, which converts flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris to give you latitude lines onto a globe spherical surface. And if you're going to do celestial navigation, you have to convert it back from the flat map, not through Haversine and the globe, onto the celestial sphere, which is the dome of the vision you have when you're on a flat ocean at the equator.
Exactly, 10. Even a vacuum chamber has to be contained. Yep.
Yeah.
Boreal plane, which is how you measure these angles. So to ask how we beg the question of being on the bottom antipodal on a hemisphere to see Polaris, when the very concept of the equator itself is based on the minimum angle you can see Polaris with. So at the equator, you're measuring a flat Earth angle to Polaris at its minimum, i.e. where Polaris is on the horizon.
Yep, if you guys don't know this, we've showed this. I mean, I've showed it, but I'm going to show it again for the new people. It's very simple stuff, guys. Let's go to the top again. When you're on top, if you are standing on a Polaris, it'd be 90 degrees from you. And then so you move away. As you move away, Polaris has an altitude drop, an apparent altitude drop. It doesn't literally drop, guys. It's always an apparent because you measure it at those angles. So when you're at the equator, you are 5,400 nautical miles away, which equals to 60 nautical miles per degree. See this math here? It's all done on flat Earth elevation. That's all. So Polaris appears to him at 90 degrees. When he's 600 nautical miles away, it appears to him at 80 degrees, so forth. It's not literally dropping. It's only dropping optically due to perspective. As simple as that. We've explained it many times, and if you haven't known,
It's really simple.
it's very simple. So yeah, it's all flat Earth based, guys.
And as you move further towards the centre, i.e. towards the North Pole, the angle to Polaris, that's a flat Earth angle measurement, increases as you approach Polaris, i.e. goes up and up and up in the sky. Well, that's a flat Earth angle that you're asking about. For a flat Earth concept, the equator, and then imposing your, begging the question, hemispherical assumption onto that flat Earth derivation to ask me how we can't see it off the bottom of your assumption that we dangle off the bottom of a sphere? Crap question.
It's also important.
Do you have a picture of the map that you agree upon as to being a map of the flat Earth? Do you have all of
No. This is one thing they love to do, is try and push a model and a map on someone.
Exactly.
Always love to do it, because if they do that, then they sit. You see, because they know they sit in a problem, because they ascribe to a model and a map and everything, and we can rip it apart. They know they got the claim, they got the burden of proof. Now they're trying to put some kind of burden of proof onto us by trying to make us claim we need to know a map and a whatever for it. But we don't need to. We're not making claims, we're literally just showing the globe is false. It's not our job to go and create a map or a model or something just because we show their religion false. We don't have to replace their religion because they have pain because they've lost their religion. How can I put it? It's not our job for that.
Exactly, we're just pointing out faults in heliocentrism.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can't accept it.
The flat. You show me a globe-shaped map.
No. I'm asking.
I answered you, all of them.
Change.
All of them, they're all flat. Do you know why? Because they need to work with elevation angles. That's why all maps are flat. If you're at sea and you're using a map to navigate, you're going to measure one line along the ground and one line to the star. That's an angle. Then you're going to draw a circle on a map. That's why it's flat. That's why they're not globe-shaped. You can't do celestial navigation on a curved surface because you can't acquire an elevation angle from a curve. It's an angle, it's two straight lines. That's why they're all flat. So now you've asked me, do you want to show me your globe-shaped map that anybody navigated with ever? Because there isn't one. They're all flat for a reason. So you can navigate with them with the flat Earth elevation angle measurement off a flat plane that you'll be getting from a sextant.
Josh, why do they flatten out maps?
I just told you. Is it not the
He literally just told him, so he's literally ignoring him instead of rebutting Nathan. Now he's asking Josh why. See why I said these guys are rude?
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, is it so difficult for him just to say yes, Nathan, and rebut it? Instead, he literally doesn't even respond to him. He goes to Josh and asks Josh the question. That is disrespectful.
And then you appeal to someone else.
Hey, I'm asking a question.
Yeah. Is it okay if we ask questions?
Yeah, no. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. Well, because our perception, right? Maybe there's a way to look at this in a different way. Is we're all talking about.
He can't even answer his question his own teammate asked him. He asked him a direct question. He can't even answer his own teammate. Yeah, exactly. Rude and thick. Sorry?
I'm just saying, he just goes straight to obfuscated, doesn't he? Like,
This whole debate, I've never once seen this guy just give a direct, straight answer. Not one.
No, he's so impudent.
Every single time he's just had questions given to him and he wants to ask questions back instead of answering it. He hasn't answered one question. I think there's at least been 9 or 10 questions asked to him. Even his own teammate asked him and he still can't answer it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The questions he's being asked ain't rhetorical, and he's just answering them with a question. That's not an answer.
And most of those questions are supposed to be related because he claimed to have been in the Navy. So it's stuff he's supposed to know. Yet he's making excuses not to answer it. So what does that tell you? Was he really in the Navy? Or he was just really useless?
Yeah, like I said, these things should be standard to him.
But in all fairness, if you're going to come and have a debate and lean on the fact that you were in the Navy, then surely you should produce evidence that you were actually in the Navy and not just saying it.
Exactly.
or at least know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, he clearly don't know what he's talking about, which says to me he's probably bullshitting about being in Navy, like.
Yeah, I absolutely agreed.
Hey, into the
How
break.
we
Good to see you, mate.
perceive reality. Am I correct on that? Is how we
No, we were
perceive
talking about
reality?
maps, and I was answering him. But now we could talk about something else because you don't know.
I came in. Well, that's one. I came in at the middle of the conversation because I was letting my kids in the door.
That's false. He just heard everything Nathan said. He was here. We all saw him listening to Nathan with his whole speech. So he didn't come in halfway. He literally just heard every word Nathan said. Then, instead of rebutting Nathan, he asked him the same question. Why are all maps flat? Now he makes excuses not to answer it.
All right, do you want me to fill you in? We were talking about maps and how they're derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris to give you latitude. Obviously, you're not an exact expert on this subject. Meanwhile, I know what the hell I'm talking about. Do you want to carry on talking about this with me, Dave? Or do you want to hand it over to your host who doesn't know anything about it?
This is you know
I want to have Josh's. I just want to ask his opinion on it. He's
He
working
doesn't
in the
know.
Navy. I just want to
You're
know
not clear.
what
He
his
doesn't
opinion
know.
is.
Well, let's
Nathan,
find out.
Let's find out. Why don't you shut up for a sec and let's find out? How about that?
it goes back to the same thing that we've been talking about this whole time, and we're never going to come to an agreement on.
Profound.
That the per-
It's simple. Why are maps flat? If he doesn't know, he should just say he doesn't know. As simple as that.
Profound.
perception of curve.
Nathan, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna leave.
perception of curve, okay, is not realized with eye length distance to the horizon. And
Watch.
so early navigators,
Watch out, Nathan's not going to say something and I can think he's going to still mute him anyway. Watch this.
they produce flat Earths. We still produce flat maps today. What's wrong with that?
'Cause
Doesn't
you
prove
claim
that
we're on a
the Earth
sphere?
is flat. What's that?
Because you claim we're on a sphere. He's asking me about these flat maps. Like,
I didn't ask you anything. I'm asking Josh. But there's utilitarian reasons why they would put it onto a map for the ability to do these things. But that doesn't mean it scales to the fact that it's
No,
saying
I mean-
that the Earth itself is flat. It's
why is
just
that?
a
No,
utilitarian
really?
purpose.
Why is
But
that? No, maybe you can tell us why.
Nathan, I'm talking to Josh.
I'm just asking,
talking
are we?
to-
Why is he talking to Josh? They debating Patrick and Nathan. He's not debating Josh. Josh is on his team. Those two are supposed to be
Yeah.
debating these two. So why is he telling Nathan to shut up and say he's talking to Josh?
Yeah, it's not like they're confabbing about an answer. It's just saying he's talking to Josh just to get away from the subject.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's literally trying to obfuscate. Hey, Snowbird, good to see you. This is insane, actually.
Absolutely.
This is-
It's
this is like-
ridiculous.
This is like literal childish obfuscation tactics. It's not even.
Mhm.
It's like bottom of the barrel obfuscation tactics, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
You like to ask questions? I was just asking why that would
No,
be. Why
because
would
I-
they scale
I'm
it
trying
to a
get
flat
Josh
map?
to answer it,
Maybe
so
you
I'm
can
gonna
tell
mute
me.
you.
There is muted.
Why is that?
And Josh, could you give it a shot there? Go ahead.
Well, no, you're right. Is that there's many reasons why we use a flat map. I mean, navigators weren't going to go out there and just create. Some of them had globes, but it's hard.
No navigators ever used globes to navigate. Ever. So that's a lie already. Okay.
To navigate on that for the exact reasons that Nathan said, is because when you're looking at the horizon on perspective, it appears horizontal. I've agreed with this.
Wow. So he's just literally blown his own globe away again.
Mm-hmm.
He's agreed with Nathan that it's just looking horizontal thanks to perspective. So no globe then. So your globe is just a reification, which you just took Patrick's argument and validated it when he said you're just taking perspective and using circular reason to call it a globe.
Yeah.
They don't look comfortable at all, Keith, at all.
Mm.
Oh man.
Mhm.
I have not said this wasn't the case. I said the reason why it appears horizontal is because we have a limited perspective to the horizon, and that the curvature of
Oh,
the
been
Earth is
muted by the host.
negligible towards that
Well,
horizon.
that's the end
towards
of
that
my time in
perspective.
this discussion, clearly.
Okay.
This is what I'm trying to say. Is like we're all like observing the same phenomena,
No
and that
That's it for my audience. This is what happens when you point out that the host of the show hasn't got the slightest fucking idea what he's talking about. The co-host wants to hand across to him because I'm proving a flat Earth. Meanwhile, I'm getting muted while this dick waffles on about absolutely nothing interesting.
I think I'm probably accurately describing your position on this. Then David comes with this Lake Pontchartrain photo and says this is evidence of the horizon being Earth curve. Then shows the Walter Bislin calculator that includes lots of other atmospheric conditions and it says the horizon is Earth curve. I'm not really understanding why you're persisting with this claim that we're not going to see an Earth curve horizon
Exactly.
when all the Globers are talking about why they're seeing Earth curve horizon.
And that's very straightforward. Josh, Patrick's asked you, why are you persisting we wouldn't see it if you claim it exists? Simple.
Keith Van says they don't look very comfortable.
They don't look comfortable at all.
No wonder they don't look very comfortable. They're in the hot seats.
Oh, man. Yep. Pea-brain globers, Johnny.
I don't want to get into the topic of optics, of what we're seeing with reflection, refraction, all of this other stuff, right? How various different densities in the atmosphere cause an amplification of the light that we're seeing.
Oh, like a Fresnel lens then. Odd. You do know your globe model doesn't have that Fresnel lens there. You have what you call terrestrial refraction, and there's no Snell's law into that equation. So it's not actual light refraction.
I don't want to get into that argument. All I'm trying to talk about here was in this perspective of the curvature of what we were talking about. Now, Patrick, I have stated this over and over again. If you take the circumference of the Earth and divide it by 360, which is a circle, the number you get is about 69, right? 69 miles. So if you take...
Yeah, should we go back? We've also even shown this because it's literally on quadrants. You only see quadrants, dude. Literally. You standing here, this is you looking to the equator. You understand that? Look at that. You see? You're seeing this much and you're seeing that much behind you. It's your zenith angle is above you and you can literally see your azimuth 360 degrees around you. So you see in front of you a quadrant. Behind you another quadrant. So that's the furthest you can see. Now every measurement you've taken from that quadrant, you're just multiplying by 4 and calling it a sphere. It's not because it literally is a sphere, it's because you believe it to be a sphere. After you measured it what? That quadrant flat. Very simple stuff.
In miles, 24,000 miles divided by 360, you get about 69 miles. That means that every 1 degree, so in for the globe Earth, for every 1 degree, and I was saying 75, because that was my approximation, about 75. 69 miles is what you should see in the sense of 1% of...
I've already covered this. That's why I've been muted and removed from the conversation, because 1 degree is a flat Earth elevation angle measurement. I'm not allowed to interrupt to point this out, so the guy's going to reiterate his incorrect nonsense with me on mute.
8 inches over 1 mile squared is distributed through that 1 mile. It's not 1 mile drop 8 inches, and this is what a lot of people do believe. I'm not saying that's what you believe.
That's also false, and he's making a straw man that's there. The 8 inches per mile square is based on your math of the globe drop. It's supposed to be very visible. Very. I mean, it's per squared square. It literally keeps squaring itself. That would be very visible. But he says you can't see it at all. Because why? Globe too large. So then what is blocking the boats and buildings at 3.3 miles away then for your globe? Nothing then. Okay, great. So it's flat.
It's a massive fail, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. They can't win either way.
Yeah. Hey, Nature Boy, good to see you. Hey, Gematria, thank you for coming. Yeah, it's a major fail. But you see, that's the thing. It doesn't matter which way they're going to turn.
Yeah, the back's into a corner with that one.
No, for sure. Oh, man.
This is what a lot of people do.
Meanwhile, me and Patrick have covered this 4 or 5 times on their behalf, and the host has denied it. 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Completely ignored, didn't understand it. Now he's waffling on through the same incorrect shit he's mentioned 3 or 4 times.
Understand why we're still on this topic if we can we can agree to disagree on this. Let's move on
No.
to the other various points.
No, I'm
75 miles. 75 squared, what is that? 5,625 times 2/3, we're going to call that 4,000 feet, give or take. Maybe 3,900 feet over 75 miles. That was your approximation. 3,900.
Yeah, remember we worked it out last night where it was a whole mountain. Literally 1,200 meters about a drop. I think that would be a very observable thing to see. A whole mountain missing. It's sad. Oh man.
100 feet is how much curvature of the earth would block a person on point A, 75 miles distant from point B. You wouldn't be able to see anything shorter than 3,900 feet in height. That is a geometric reality, okay? So you may call it just 1 degree, but it still requires approximately 3,900 feet of blocking curvature. You just draw a circle,
Exactly.
say, okay, the distance is 1 degree over these 360. The actual curvature skipped over is 3,900 feet. It's enormous.
3,900 feet is just a little over a mile. And we're
Yes.
talking about 1 mile squared, right?
Well,
It's a lot.
What?
You,
A mile high up in the sky is huge. Can
it's
you
a
imagine
lot.
a building? Can you imagine a building being a mile high?
It's crazy.
Nah, you won't be able to see the top of it.
No, definitely. No, it's insane. This guy, I don't know. But you can see he knows he's wrong. That's why he's trying to clean his tracks. Hey, that's my line. Hey, nature boy.
First of
We're
all, it's
talking about
under
our
a mile.
Patrick, have you ever been to Denver, Colorado and came in from Kansas? Okay, Denver,
No.
Colorado is the mile-high city, right? 5,280 feet. So we're a bit under a mile with that 3,900. 5,280, 1 mile. Okay? The Colorado Rockies, some of those are 14,000 feet, but they're sitting in an elevation of a mile up. So they're 5,280 and then 10,000, 14,000 feet. Okay? If there's no curvature to the earth, when should, using trigonometry, geometry here, when should I begin to see that?
Okay, I just have to tell Tesla here. Tesla, please tell me when I've ever admitted that it's not observably flat. Please. Make sure you've got a screenshot for that.
Yeah, I just don't think that's your style at all, Flats.
No, that's just him misrepresenting everything, you know? That's what they usually do. Because they think when I can
Okay.
demonstrate optical drop, it's me saying, no, it's not observed flat. It's definitely observed flat. Remember all those demonstrations I did were on flat surfaces. It was literally me telling you, look, it's actually flat. You guys think that perspective is physical. That's it. It's observed flat.
If that's his best argument, we would be.
No, there's no drop, Tesla. Literally just told you, there's no drop.
This is the thing, they don't get it, Flatside. They don't get the optical drop in actual drop.
They're just morons.
That's
all
all
they
they
are.
get. They don't understand perspective whatsoever.
No.
Man. Ugh.
We're stuck in off the
Coming from
graphic.
Kansas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
And
that's
it's about
why,
380 miles from the border of Kansas to Denver.
okay, so that's why you take the square root of the observer's height.
So the thing we've told him a dozen times, but I'm not allowed to point out again.
Yep.
Computation is done for a sphere of circumference of 24,901 English statute miles. So if you're at 30,000 feet, you're on an airplane, right? You take the square root of 30,000 feet.
Yes, we agree, Tesla. The globe would have dropped, but there's no drop. And this guy is literally telling you there's no drop to be observed. You know, literally. So that's the issue here. We're literally teaching you guys your own model, and you guys are declaring your own model mute with your own arguments. So thank you. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Idiots, numpties, and trolls.
Yeah.
I've said this time and time, they need to be debating each other, these globers, because they're all in opposition to each other.
Exactly.
I think they do debate each other indirectly, but they do.
This Tesla guy is claiming that there's observable drop. Josh here's claiming that there isn't observable drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ballers need to be arguing with each other.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
they
saying.
don't know what the hell they're going on about, that's why.
Mhm.
They dropped the ball, exactly, 10th man. It's sad.
Funny.
I think they've got drops.
What
here.
is that?
Yeah.
175? What's 175 squared? Is it 30,000 roughly? So anyway, you
It's,
you take-
3625.
Okay. Anyway, wow, I got it way wrong. So call it 106. Call it 170. So 170 times 1.225, right? Okay. So you should not be able to see further than 200 miles from 30,000 feet on a globe. Of radius.
Why? Because the globe bends away. That's one thing they always ignore. We always try and say that. The globe would bend away. So the higher you go up, it doesn't mean you're going to see more. It means you're going to see less because it's bending over a curve. Hey, Gary Benga, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. It means the globe's falling away from you at a considerable pace.
Mm. Yeah, they don't know what they did when they picked the globe because it presents them all kinds of bloody problems, you know what I mean?
And I'm still waiting for just one demonstration of their globe claims. Just one. And I mean, look, literally, all Patrick and Nathan has been doing this whole debate is just keeping them to their claims. Just saying, just explain to us, show us what. But every time he wants them to actually talk about it, to keep, it's their claims, they obfuscate and run away and make excuses and contradict themselves.
Yep.
Moomin Rider, yes, he wants me to tell him it's a ball just for his belief, even though I tell him straight to his face it's not a ball. That's how delusional the guy is. Carol, I'm glad my Braille keyboard is still functioning as it should. I think Braille would be too difficult for these guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
3959. Jay Tolan Media is showing infrared photos from 30,000 feet
Right,
of
but
elevation.
that is-
well over 500.
Suspect, right?
Yeah.
That's assuming on a flat Earth, right? If the Earth is flat, but we also have to take into account elevation, correct? I mean, so
Elevation is flat Earth. Elevation comes from elevation angles. Mean sea level is your horizontal reference, and elevation angle is parallel to that. How the hell should he? I don't know.
we all agree that the Earth has sea level.
Sorry, PJ, want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a good plug for Jay Tolan because he's got some brilliant infrared observations from planes and that. Things that are like really far away. I don't know how far, 1,000 miles away probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's got some really good
it sees some
observations.
things that far away. I mean, according to Globe, it's supposed to be falling away, and it doesn't. I mean, he even takes the angular sizes of like rivers and stuff that's far away with us. That shouldn't be seen on their globe. It should be literally like 3 mountains below the curve
Exactly.
at that height, and you can still see the whole mountain, like the whole river. You understand? It's like, it's crazy.
Level, it can go up hundreds and thousands of feet in the sense of topography. We all agree upon that?
Sea level. So the elevation of the mountain is in reference to sea level, right? Zero.
What I
is
just
sea
said,
level.
yeah.
Yes.
Level.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is if
Flat.
we took the
Yes, level. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So no globe then, no curve, flat.
where the sea meets land is 0. Okay, where the
Took
sea
his
meets
face.
land is 0. If we account for that, and we say that the Earth has elevation in the sense that we climb up hills, we can go up mountains. Are we all in agreement that the Earth has different elevations?
Yes, with reference.
Gematria, don't you know who Jay Tolan is? Let's quickly. I think it's worth it to go to quickly get Jay Tolan up here.
Jay Tolan's brilliant. He's got some fantastic observations. He works with infrared, gets all the atmosphere out of the way, and you see for long distances. Brilliant.
I mean, look at this
Brilliant,
one
man.
with 3D infrared. It's like literally this guy's got. He's really done some awesome stuff.
This Tesla guy doesn't even understand what's being said.
No, definitely not. I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna paste it in here for you. There we go. If you want to subscribe to Jay Tolan Media, there is his. I'm not gonna download it now to show, but anyway, he's showing in 3D. But I mean, it's like far away. Just this 3D glasses one. This one is hectic.
It's really worth it. It's really worth checking them out. He gets when he discovers like a good observation or something. He gets really excited, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, he gets really excited about his work. He's brilliant.
Exactly. Okay, it's not gonna work there, but I'll put the plug there. If anybody wants to go to Jay Tolan Media and subscribe, please do so. He does awesome work, yeah. Okay, let's go on.
To a zero baseline.
Hi McFly, good to
Yes.
see you by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So what I'm trying to say is if I'm coming in from Kansas and Denver, Colorado is the mile-high city, so it sits at 5,280 feet elevation, and I have a mountain that is in Colorado that is 14,000 feet high, or 14,000 feet high. When should I be able to see that? And you're saying it depends on the height. Yes, the height of the observer is to the horizon.
Height of the observer is to the horizon. Thank you. From an elevation angle. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you for again. So, Black Swan, remember? Where's the horizon supposed to be? This is the whole point, dude. Just pay attention. It might help.
Objects that are above the horizon massively, especially a landmass that is going to move up and elevate upward 1 mile from that ground level.
Okay.
When should I expect to see Denver, Colorado, from Kansas on a flat Earth? If we're talking about elevation, it's 1 mile up, and then there's mountains above it that are 10,000 feet up. Okay, if I'm coming from Kansas, if I'm looking at the horizon, that's fine. My height does matter. But if I'm looking at an object that is above the horizon in elevation, when should I be able to see that?
Huh? That's kind of double speak there.
I don't understand what horizon is.
No, he doesn't understand what the horizon is. I mean, even that mountain, when you're looking at the distance, the mountain is separating the ground from the sky. That's the apparent position, the apparent horizon. Wow.
Okay, I'll answer. So, in your mathematics, including the Walter Bisling calculator, there's no accounting for perspective.
I
So,
don't.
according to Globe Earth mathematics, the height is irrelevant because the height in
But
Globe
Patrick
Earth,
just said it was relevant.
so the height in Globe Earth mathematics is irrelevant because the distance of the mountain versus the height of the mountain given in feet won't change with observer distance. So in Globe Earth maths, it doesn't matter if the mountain's 10 miles away or 1 mile away, it's always calculated at the same feet or meters value. Ergo, the size, that's apparent size, angular size, perspective, does not change with distance.
This is exactly what I was trying to get McToon to concede, and he couldn't. That's why he thinks orthographic view is perspective based. Orthographic view is literally just angles. It's not taking any perspective into account.
Yeah.
And their globe model doesn't take any angular size difference. It just literally takes a 100-foot, let's say, an object that's 10 feet. Now let's say an object is, its size is 100 meters at 10 feet. You move that same object 100 feet away, it's still going to be 10 meters, 100 meters high on their model.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the distance, it doesn't change in angular size, it doesn't get, no perspective is taken into account, nothing, ever.
No.
The FF, hey, good to see you, mate. Glad you're here. I've been on your Discord for a while. Finally created a YouTube account purely for that Earth stuff. So my family stops rolling their eyes at me. Well, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. It's always good to see new faces in here.
Hence my description of it being a begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. Because where things reduce in size...
I refuse to show how to calculate perspective. Tesla? McToon made the claim that orthographic view is taking perspective into account. That was the whole argument. I told him, show me where it takes it into account. Instead, he wants to reverse his burden onto me. Do you get it? It's not my job to do his claim for him.
Tesla, you don't have to talk crap. Simple.
Simple as that. Orthographic view is two-dimensional. It does not take three-dimensional perspective into account. Simple as that. That is my statement. I do not need to take perspective into account in orthographic view because it's not my claim that it's possible to do. McToon claims it to be. Hey Jess Palmer, good to see you. Thank you for coming. As simple as that. Hey Quinlan, thank you for coming, mate. Glad you could make it.
So that's angular size, perspective, and then get obscured from view because they become too small to see. The globe Earth mass, which excludes and hijacks perspective, claims that it will disappear from view, only about the 10th time, at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the point that the geometric claim of an Earth curve that obscures your view when you ignore perspective will block the view of the mountain. That's why when people charge flat earthers with what?
Rainbow dogs. Good to see you, thank you. What no? Clogs. Orthographic view includes perspective. You do know that... Huh? Sorry?
Are you saving that comment?
Yes, please do.
You want me to click it?
Will you save it?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
Definitely.
Rainbow Clogs, would you please be so kind as to show us orthographic view taking perspective account? Just one thing, like I asked McToon, show us in your orthographic triangulation method where convergence is. Just do that for us. Just convergence, then we'll get to the other stuff.
Why can't you see New York from Ireland when they claim Earth curve at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet is getting in the way, when in reality New York's very small at that distance. It's perspective, just excluded from Earth curve mathematics.
Muppet vision, exactly. Ask, sir.
Can I just ask a quick question here?
Oh, another question asked.
When I'm sitting here, because I live in the British Columbia, live right by the ocean, and I, on a regular basis, witness when boats are going and they're disappearing bottom up. Okay, this is the...
Which Josh has been saying the whole thing you don't observe. He's been saying it's too large to see that, but you're just saying now you observe that constantly. So you're just actually throwing your partner's conversation, his argument under the bus. Look, Rainbow Clock says all the graphic shows angular size, which what causes perspective view. First of all, that's not a coherent sentence. Secondly, you have not shown me convergence with orthographic view yet, please. Just stating it causes perspective doesn't mean it causes perspective. Perspective is three-dimensional. Orthographic is two-dimensional. Orthographic only takes angular size. That's it. Nothing else.
That's thing is, Nathan's just explained it.
He literally has, yeah. Shows you how these guys listen. Oh man.
They're stuck in orthographic 2 dimension, but they want to be working with 4 dimensions. It's unbelievable.
That's sad. I think from now on, you Globies, if you want me to address your idiotic comments like that, rather just send a super chat. That's going to be much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the oldest observations. So, so if we're talking about it disappearing on a flat plane, the vanishing point, the whole ship, the whole boat should disappear in entirety. It would not disappear bottom up. that's where my question is just putting math
Sure.
aside for a second.
Okay, do you want me to explain that to
The
you?
observations that have
Sure.
been made for 2,000 years on this.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
Do you want me to
something
explain that?
became
Can I explain? Can I
Nathan,
explain? Can I explain that to
Can I
you?
take this one?
I wanted to respond to Nathan's response to me, if I could do that first, because I think
Can I
there's
just
maybe a
address this bottom-up
misunderstanding.
obstruction of the boat before you do? So you're describing
No, I
something.
would like to, before we move on to that part, because we're talking about two.
Yeah, you're trying to obfuscate from every point that's being brought up, dude. Every single time. Even one that he's asking him, he's trying to obfuscate from his part now. Instead of just letting them rebut, I mean, he's rebutting DW. He's jumping in now to try and obfuscate from it. Distance changes angular size. That's not convergence, Rainbow. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not supposed to read until you sent the super chat. Oh.
Different observation.
Okay, I'm
observational
sorry, Jock,
okay?
and that's my fault.
Right.
So, okay, address
What
that
the
and then
question-
Nathan right to you,
right.
okay?
The
Sure.
question I asked was on a flat Earth, not on a round Earth. And Nathan, you explained it very well in the sense of a round Earth, 1.1225, right? You explained it on a round Earth. I asked on a flat Earth.
He just explained on flat Earth and round Earth. He just told you on round Earth why it's not working. Do you even listen to the words coming out of his mouth?
No.
Coming from Kansas, looking at the edge of the flat Earth, towards the edge of the flat Earth, and I have an elevation of 5,280 feet, and then another elevation of mountains that are 14,000 feet high. When should I expect to see them?
Okay, I'll try and rephrase what I said about a globe Earth, but to answer your question.
I don't want to hear about a globe Earth.
I know,
want to
I'm gonna
know,
rephrase what
in
I said
the
about a
perspective
glo-
of what we
Okay,
should hear
I got
on
that.
a flat Earth. How does that observation
got you,
happen?
I heard.
When should I see them?
Thank you. I do need you to stop talking while I answer you, though, if that's okay.
I just want
His
to be clear that
admission
we,
right
we
there,
know
mate.
what we're talking about here, in the sense of the
I
question
do, I
we
heard.
asked.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try again.
Mhm.
So, you're giving me the height of the mountain in feet. And feet or meters don't change with distance. That's an angular change, so the angle of the mountain would change as you approached it. Not the feet and inches as you've given me in your question, making your question malformed. Now, I've answered your question in regards to why you've posed it to me as well, which is in globe Earth maths, the assertion that 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet will be the limitation of your view to Earth curve obstruction would only have the mountain in feet and inches not change in angular size as you approach it. So based on the information you've given me, I can't take that hypothetical scenario and put a sextant to the mountain to give me its angular size. That's not enough information. It's a malformed question in that regard. But in terms of a globe, I can answer and point out that there's no perspective in the question. But as you're approaching things, they get bigger. Not in Earth curve maths, they don't.
Right. Aspect ratio. I understand that.
Aspect ratio. Okay. No. You guys are literally ignoring optical changes. Literally, you're taking the optical observations and calling them physical by ignoring angular size change, ignoring resolution limits, diffraction limits, the angles getting limited. You're literally ignoring looking through things like fog and water vapor and dust and atmosphere and stuff. Every single thing that's got to do with optics that are variables that change the reason why you can't see so far, you take that and you call it physical curve.
Understand what you're saying on.
Do you want to say something?
No, sorry, I was just agreeing.
See, the trolls are keeping you guys busy.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Tesla, just send a super chat and then you'll get acknowledged.
Yeah. If you want me to respond, please do send a super chat, then I'll be more than happy to respond. Just want to say thank you to everybody for coming again. If you haven't already, just hit that like button and share the show, as it does help to get it to a wider audience. Thanks, guys.
On the globe Earth side. And the reason I'm asking this question is because if we assume that the Earth is flat and we do have elevation, right, and there is no curvature, then at what distance away from that object, using flat Earth math, would I expect to see that? And if I can get maybe after the show when you guys can go out there and calculate that would be great. They hear that answer. Because what I'm asking actually, Nathan, is an experiment that we can all do. We can go to Kansas, I can drive into Denver, and I can test what you guys would postulate would be the actual answer, correct? I mean, if we know the elevation, if we know the height of the mountain, and I'm coming from Kansas, which is roughly sea level, okay? And I know I'm using globe Earth terms there, Nathan, I understand.
Sea level's not a globe Earth term.
We should know that when we should see the mountains in Denver.
Okay,
on a flat Earth.
I've got it.
That's what I'm saying.
I've got it.
I wanted to test that out.
I like how he's making claims what you should see on a flat Earth or not, while he's literally ignoring everything Nathan's been saying about why we can't see that far. It's like
they don't even know what they see on a globe Earth, let alone a flat Earth.
Yeah, but it's like it's not getting to this noggin of it. It's like it's going in the one ear and straight out the other. He's not really computing what Nathan's saying. He's explained it to him so much times.
Yeah.
Got it the first time, the second time, and the third time. Thank you. But
I'm glad it.
sure.
I'm glad
You're asking a question in regards to the optics of vision, and you can calculate where things disappear into the distance in terms of diffraction with the Rayleigh criterion if you want to look that up. But in terms of that claim, I don't need to answer it because there's no positive assertion from me that needs to explain this on a flat Earth because I'm not using it as a claim. The claim, the positive assertion that does use the horizon, is Earth curve, but we can debunk it by showing imagery that demonstrates the horizon Earth curve beyond where it is capable of being in a physical term. So if Earth curve, as in the maths, is a hill in the way of this mountain in the distance, then that hill is at a fixed position.
Yeah, and like I've shown on live, and I remember like BML65, his latest one of what I find is the best Black Swan that he's done, where the horizon is beyond, still like we saw, and it's still blocking the oil rig. How is the horizon blocking the oil rig and it's still beyond the oil rig? It's impossible. You can't have something blocking it and it's in front of what's blocking it.
No.
So that kind of throws away the argument 100% there.
The hill being Earth curve in the way, blocking your view of the mountain in the distance. That's all your positive globe Earth claim that we can debunk, not something that needs a burden of proof reversal fallacy using to get me to justify something that fails as a globe Earth claim. So meanwhile, to go to David's question, in terms of why the boat disappears bottom first, if you'll beg my indulgence, David, I'll take you through an example of why that happens. If I take a brick and put it a few feet away from you, you'd concede that you can see the brick, right? You don't need to answer, you'll say yes. If I take that brick and put it, let's just say about a mile away, would you concede that you can just about make out the brick? Okay, if I take that same brick and put it 4 miles away, so you can see it moving towards the horizon, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then disappearing from view, would you concede that at 4 miles, a brick's too small to see?
He's not answering it.
Yeah, I guess because it depends on the field of vision, right? Yeah, I get where you're going, but why does it not disappear?
You just have to go with me. I beg your indulgence.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Okay, I'm nearly there. So at 4 miles, you would concede a brick's too small to see. It's disappeared into the horizon because it's too small. Now, if I put 1 million other bricks on top of that brick and make a high-rise skyscraper, would you concede that you can see the high-rise skyscraper at 4 miles, but the brick at the bottom is still too small to see?
Right, but we're not building bricks when we're talking about a move.
It's a simple yes or no.
He's done it in layman's terms as well, isn't he? He's done it like really easy and basic for him to understand, and he still can't come back with anything.
It's a simple yes or no. And he can't even just say yes or no. Wow. Yeah, this is why I love this. That's why I love this, the way when Nathan says the brick example. It's a very good analogy of how it works. I mean, he concedes, yes, the brick is too small to see at that distance. But as soon as you build a skyscraper, you still can't see that brick, but you can see the skyscraper. Hence bottom-up obstruction. Not because of Earth curve, because the resolution limit, the diffraction limit, the limited angle, it's literally, you cannot see it because the larger angle is occulting the smaller angle.
An object on the top of the water like a boat.
Yeah, and if the Earth was a sphere radius 3959, every distance to that obstruction to the boat could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and we can fundamentally debunk that claim by showing imagery that has a hill, claimed to be Earth curve at the horizon, beyond the things it's supposed to be blocking. So we can debunk that claim in geometry. But the claim, in terms of explanation, I can explain why things disappear bottom up.
Why is he talking over Nathan again? Literally. Yeah, exactly, Zetetic Warrior. It's intellectually dishonest. So say hi, Arwen, good to see you. YouTube, thank you for coming in. Glad you guys can make it. And Naps. Look, the troll has arrived.
I can explain why things disappear bottom up at the horizon by taking you through the thought experiment of getting a brick to be too small to see and then putting other bricks on top of it that you can see. The bottom brick's still not visible. Ergo, that building at 4 miles is missing the bottom brick. Doesn't mean it's obscured by Earth curve at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, though. We can debunk that.
It's true, David.
Bring up the blink test.
If you don't mind,
I'm going to keep this on mute, and feel free to talk while this is playing in the background, just for people watching, so that you have a different example here to talk about this. Go ahead, Patrick.
So what I want to point out is that you asked the question about looking out into the water and how a boat disappears from the bottom up. When you zoom in on that boat after it has disappeared from the bottom up, you can reacquire it in its entirety via telescope. Okay? If you're able to reacquire the bottom of the boat by telescopy, then it follows. Say again?
Have you done it?
Yes.
You can find.
Yes, you can do it quite often. There are times where you can zoom in, but you literally reach the zoom capabilities and you can't zoom in, you're just magnifying it. You know, when you've reached your digital zoom, your optical zoom is now gone to its limits, now you're just doing digital zoom. So if it's already reached that limit and you're just zooming in further digitally, you're magnifying that already limited observation. And then sometimes obviously you have waves in the way and, like I said, the limited angle and all that. It's as simple as that. But yes, there's been a lot of observations where it's simply bottom-up obstruction. As soon as you get something with a higher focal length capacity, you are able to bring it back fully into view, which is impossible on the globe.
Countless videos of people doing
Not
just
videos,
this.
I meant like you've seen it
Have I personally? Yes, I've watched others do it.
on video.
Yes, on video.
I'm just clear. I'm not trying to find I'm just literally asking. I'm just curious. That's
Yeah,
all.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
The ability, so I just want to make sure this is very plain. You watch a vessel of some kind in the distance, your eye perceives it to be disappearing bottom up. Now, the thought of a globe earther is going to be the curvature of the earth is beginning to obscure the bottom of that boat because it's curved and because the boat is going away.
Hey, Jolly Man,
Now,
good to see you, mate.
the moment you use some kind of telescope or P900 camera to reacquire the boat in its entirety, you have disproven the notion that it was going over the curve in that instance.
All right, I
Does
can
that
see
make
it.
sense?
Yeah, exactly, Jimbo.
makes-
The blink test is just people, when they bring this up, it's just them showing they don't understand optics. Simple as that.
Sense, and I understand the claim. I'm incredulous to the point that has in fact been done.
Okay, when you have seen that it has been done over and over and over again, we'll talk about it after that. And I would challenge the audience, those of you who have not watched people with P900 cameras doing this over and over again, it's pretty intense stuff.
So this is the counter. Comes from Red's Rhetoric. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Red's Rhetoric.
No, who's that guy?
Yeah, it's very simple, guys. Do you think this is even taken at the same? Look at this.
And I do have another argument that
Is that taken? Look how hazy that is.
he has posed.
Look at that. Look at the difference in the atmospheric. how can I put it, day. It's much more clearer here, is it not?
Absolutely.
Do you see there's much less compression as well? Hey Charlie Gill, good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
To flat Earth. To
Look at that. Look at all that compression and lensing and stuff.
Look at different in camera eye as well. Though.
That's what I'm trying to say. How do you know it's even taken
You know
at
what
the
I mean?
same?
Like that on that second picture, camera must be a couple 100 foot high or something.
That's right.
It doesn't even look. It doesn't even look like it's taken from exactly the same position. I want to see something quickly. Hey Dalla, good to see you. Thank you for coming. I want to see if I can do something quickly. File, new, yes, presentation. So yeah, but always when it comes to Reds, it's not a guy I would really trust with anything.
One of the most dishonest people you'll come across, in my opinion.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, can't make up whether it's 11 frames, 3 frames, 7 frames, 5.
24.
And it's his claim, so why wouldn't you remember it?
Yeah, well, the guy's proven to be in fraud and set up GoFundMe's for fake cancer things, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Is nasty. Okay, let me try and. There you see they got that screenshot. Let's look at the next. I just
Throw
want to
at
get back
you
to the
guys.
link. Okay, let's do a screenshot here. It's definitely not at the same place, guys.
No.
So why are you doing a
No.
blink test that's not exactly at the same? Odd stuff. And if you guys don't know what red rhetoric is, then I don't know. You guys been hiding under a rock or something. Okay, obviously there's some new people that's into flat Earth. Let's make it.
I know, I never really think of it like that. I always think we've all been there since 2015. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Something's just not right here. Does that look the same to you? Look, even this building. Where's the buildings are not in the right place. Look at that. Look how this one's here, this one's much more to the right. It's different angles. He's literally taking the one from the one angle as well.
Yeah, definitely, because the one with the triangle top is, you can hardly see that one.
And why
on the other,
did I just break my mouse?
you broke it.
Oh no, there it's working. Okay. But look here. Look at this. This is when the so-called Earth curve is supposed to be here. What's this? Why are we not seeing it this side? Where there's no supposed Earth curve. Does he also know when he brings up this blink test, he's conceding that their Earth curve is only optical and not physical? Because as far as I know, their refraction means that they can see further, correct? This is much more of a refracted day, is it not? Why are we seeing further on a clear day? No curve on a clear day, but curve on a refracted day. So it kind of is a 180 from the argument for the Black Swan. So yeah, guys, sorry to tell you, but Red's rhetoric is just fooling you. Again.
Just curious what you'll say. But this video was shot P900, clear day, and he's showing you the images put on top with the bottom missing over the distance, right? So this is what the blink test experiment is, and it's very effective at actually
I just showed you that they're not even taken from the same place. Literally. So what's debunked there? Oh, Red's rhetoric is showing he's dishonest again. That's what's debunked. But you see, these guys don't actually go and look further into the stuff. They don't actually go and look at the stuff.
They're deliberately going out there to get gotcha. pictures. Do you know what I mean? It's the second.
Exactly.
There's no like genuine about it.
There's nothing
there's no
genuine.
consistency in them or nothing.
But I mean, it's literally look at the differences. There's just
Can't believe the water. That's over the bump. Wow.
And look at this. Look here. Look what I'm saying with the compression. Look at this size difference to this building than this here. Look at that. Look how much further it is compared to there. But on this day, when it's supposedly having the curve, look how much closer they are to how compressed everything is together.
Yeah, definitely.
And this building, check there, you can see it clearly, is behind that building there. Sorry, Reds, you kind of just being dishonest here, as soon as just like usual. Neil, is Neil here?
Yeah.
Hey Neil, good to see you, mate. Definitely need a wrench. There we go, mate. Glad you could make it. Yeah, guys, so Reds being dishonest? Yes. Are the Globers gullible, thinking he's actually showing something? Yes. Just like usual. But you see, that's usually the problem with these Globe defenders. They take people like Mattoon and Reds and Mr. Sensible and stuff and just say, oh, look, they're proving the Earth, but the Globe, but they don't actually look at what they're presenting. They just take it and say, therefore it's Globe. But they don't actually look at it.
It's definitely taken from a different angle because that building with the triangular top, you can't see that in the other one, so it's kind of behind the other building, whereas in the first picture, it seems to be in the foreground, so it looks like it's at a different angle also.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like I said, according to these guys' argument, like the Black Swan, it's because of refraction. That's why we see further. This shows opposite of that. When it's showing the refractive phenomena, we're seeing less, not more. Yeah. Do they even think that far? I don't think so.
No.
Speaking to that claim, okay. So I'm just wondering if I'm trying to think of because we're talking about a lot of things here, but what kind of practical experiments could you, Patrick, me, Josh, say we go to? That's
also true, Tent Man. That's the shoreline. The horizon is still behind the buildings. That's exactly what I was trying to point out with BML 69's latest. You know, the other one where it's blocking, but the horizon's still behind. Oh, it's sad. And it's mirroring, exactly. Thank you all for coming again. Really appreciate you all being here.
I guess they're putting together some of these awesome Badlands events that we're all going to actually physically meet each other. That should be great. I'm thinking, well, hey, if I make it down there in April, let's say whenever that is, and I was going to ask Josh, because I know Josh had a few experiment ideas as well, that we could do together. We could bring some flat Earth proponents, yourselves, we could come, and together we could do a series of experiments, and that blink test would be one of them, as well as what Josh was saying.
What experiment? There's no experiment. It's not science. Hey Neil, yes, exactly. They don't know what experiment is. That's it. They don't know what experiment. They don't know what science is, to be honest.
Oh goodness.
Oh man. I mean, what's the hypothesis? I see Nathan's probably going to want to say that. Please bring in the hypothesis for the experiment. We'll see.
Denver. And then I do have a few others that have to do with the sun and some other things. But do you have a video, Patrick, to show what you're talking about?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have tons of videos. I made them all in little clips of Taboo Conspiracy and his wife taking enormous distance shots with the P900 camera, showing that the Earth is completely flat over distance.
Exactly, the FF.
Completely flat.
Those two photos aren't the same height. That's what we said, yeah. Either they are increasing the lower angle, making it look different, and they're not taking it from the same angle, even the one's even taken more from the right, to try and give it more of a forced perspective. Remember last night we spoke about forced perspective, guys? Yeah. Red's rhetoric is trying to do a soundly.
See, we can all see it. Why can't they?
They don't want to see it, that's why.
No, exactly.
If they don't even get that what we see is optical and not physical, how are they even going to get to that level of understanding the different angles cause things like forced perspective and stuff? They wouldn't get that.
No, deluded.
With no curvature obscuring anything. People do it all the time. They also use telescoping lenses to reacquire things that have visually disappeared from the bottom up. I didn't like clip one of those.
That's okay. And you know what? Maybe we don't have to. I just want to give you the opportunity. I was just thinking this would be a good experiment that we could do in real reality together. That we could verify because we're just talking. I want to see it with my own eyes because isn't that what this is? Is observing yourself.
Can I address that? A couple of things. The red rhetoric thing. So in Earth curve maths, which is where the assertion comes from that the horizon's blocking the view of the buildings, there's no account for angular descriptions in that maths. So
I'd be curious what he would say to you on that.
Again?
I said I would be curious to see what Red would say to you on that.
Red.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what he has to say about it. It's a factual statement, which you're supposed to be rebutting, not just saying you want to know what Red would say about it. Who cares what Red has to say about it?
I know, yeah. You're meant to be debating, not looking for a backup.
It's sad.
Well, it's not really about Red's opinion. It's more about the way it works. I mean, if
thank you.
It's just two things I want to address. Just a couple of things I want to address. So the first is the red rhetoric thing, but then I do want to cover this experiment idea. Great idea, but I do want to get to that more importantly. But the red rhetoric thing, if you're looking at the building from the base of the building, you appreciate that you've got a very wide angle to the building. You'd have to literally arc the camera up, and as you back away from the building, you'll arc your camera down again. In other words, there's an angular relationship that's going on here. But in the assertions that the horizon's blocking the bottom of the building, it's not accounting for angles. It's not accounting for angular size. It's not accounting for
but those experiments do account for those angles. That's the thing. In those videos, and they show you exactly how it's done, they absolutely do account for those angles.
What angles?
Can you show me that in Walter Bislin's maths, please?
I'm not talking about Walter Bisling, I'm talking about Red's rhetoric and his videos and his experiments.
I've had plenty of interactions.
P900.
I've had plenty of interactions with Red Rhetoric as well.
I've heard them.
Red Rhetoric's maths
is Walter
the same as Walter Bislin's. It's, as I said earlier, the globe Earth maths. There's not more than one. That's it. They're all using the same maths. Okay. So there is no account for angular anything in globe Earth maths. None. Okay? It's a 10-foot wall.
Hey, Spuddy, good to see you, mate.
I think that Red would agree with you on that, and it's his experiment, so I'd be curious. And that's why
Red didn't do an experiment. He literally just demonstrated that he is trying to fool you guys, and he got it right because you're too dumb to see the difference in the two photos. Literally. And it's not an experiment, and who cares what Red's rhetoric thinks? His maths and observations do come from Walter Bislin's calculator. I know because I've spoken to Reds about this rubbish as well.
Want us to do it. If we do it, instead of talking about other people's experiments.
That was the first thing. Okay, we can just defer to Red. Okay, there was two things though. That was the first. For Red,
get to the second then.
Yeah, the second was knowing what science is. So you're under the misapprehension. Please don't get triggered in the middle of what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This is an experiment. But it isn't.
It isn't, thank you.
Now, the way we've been hoodwinked into believing that we're on a sphere is by people telling you that they've got experiments or science or theories. I beg your indulgence to just let me say this. Thank you. So, that magic trick has been planted into you from a very early age, about 5th grade, where they taught you what the scientific method actually was and how the method offers empiricism through the method described to you in the, whatever you want to call it, pre-show. I.e. if A, then B, or if A, not B, alternative and null hypothesis validated by experiment. to give you an empirical outcome. Only one can be true. So therefore science, and in this case experiment, offers an empirical outcome. So when you hear the word experiment, in this case referenced incorrectly to a blink test, the audience will hear empirical. That's what they've been trained from a very early age. However, an experiment is to establish the cause of a naturally occurring phenomena through systematic experimentation based on a valid hypothesis. Now this doesn't have that. There is no naturally occurring phenomena here to study. Nothing's occurring in nature. You're talking about a comparison with a varying angle from two different lens positions. That's not a naturally occurring phenomena to science. This is outside the purview of science. But understanding what science actually is the key to understanding how you've been deceived into believing that you're on a model called a sphere that was derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to polarity.
You should do an episode on maths, like an intro to maths or something, and show how it's used to deceive. Maybe we should, eh? I think we might need to do that. I have done a 3-part series video on it, so on the different maths they use. Maybe we can do a stream on it. That'd be quite interesting, I think. Because it's always amazing how we have to teach the globe as their own model.
Especially these ones.
Hey Leafy, thank you for coming in. It's always good to see my wife coming in and supporting me.
Absolutely, of course. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and she's a globe believer, guys. Well, she doesn't really care what shape it is, but does she go on like these morons here, like anti-flat earthers? No, she doesn't.
Charlie Girl says you can't get rid of me anymore. Lol. They say we don't want to get rid of you, Charlie. We want to keep you.
Yeah, Charlie's ace.
Yeah, brilliant.
For sure.
Give you latitude.
So
Understanding
I shouldn't
science
trust
is
my
the
own
key.
eyes, Nathan. Are you
I do not know spheres don't have edges. Mathematically, they don't have edges. Physically, they do have an edge. It's called the edge of the sphere. It's the leading edge. They call it leading edges. You know, your so-called physical horizon is your leading edge of your sphere.
I was going to say, it's called Tardia, it's Horizon.
telling me this?
Sorry?
Should I not trust my own eyes?
What do you mean, trust your own eyes?
Should I trust my eyes?
I don't know what you
Depends.
mean.
It's just a simple
Yes, you
question.
should trust your own eyes, which show you obviously that you can see further than you'd be able to see on a sphere.
But I disagree because that's not what I'm seeing.
What are you
Where?
seeing? We're looking for evidence. We're looking
No,
for
I'm
evidence.
telling you, I'm seeing things disappear bottom up. And I'm seeing that there's an issue with the understanding of how that visual effect works with the
Gotcha.
human eye related to reality,
Okay.
right? So I'm just, the reason I'm asking this question is because this is a sticking point in the flat earth debate is, can we trust our eyes and our senses? And is it okay to employ different tools that can see farther, that can, measure farther? Or should we only rely on our eyes and our senses only?
I don't really understand the question 100%, but I'd like to address one thing that you mentioned, and I've said it already, and I apologize for saying it again. But the fact is that when you look at an object disappearing to your eye from the bottom up, and then are able to use instrumentation to reacquire it entirely, that
So we can use,
falsifies-
okay, that's the answer.
Yes.
That's the answer. We can use instrumentation. Great.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you reacquire it using instrumentation, it is important to acknowledge that you have falsified the notion that it was disappearing over the curve of a presupposed spherical Earth. I'd like you to just agree to that because that's the kind of thing that we're going to be testing.
So you're saying that if we go and we find the right thing to
Instruments.
view, right?
Telescope's
Then
fine.
if we do a telescope or a P900 or whatever your favorite camera would be, right? If we see something going over the horizon and then you can bring it back by zooming in, you're saying that's the proof, right?
Should we actually go get it? Because I'm sure we've seen how much videos of this happening.
Yeah, Michael, I did the same with Tesla. Just got too much.
Constantly repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Exactly. He must have it. He must have it pinned. Just
Like,
to.
I heard him first time, you know. He's not interested in what he's got to say.
Exactly. That's why I timed him out. But yeah, he's just doing the same again.
Yeah. But he's gonna just create another how can I put it? Just gonna create another soccer account probably to come on again. Okay, guys.
No, he's not banned. No, he's not banned. He's just timed out, I think.
Yeah. Okay, look here, guys. Can you see a boat on the horizon? Obviously, it's still gonna come now for the people on YouTube. But
Yeah, I can only see a Nissan.
okay, the Nissan's gonna come off now. The advert's gonna stop, and you're gonna see now.
Yeah, I can see out that window. I can't see a boat now.
There we go. No boat, but you see an horizon. Okay. What's going to happen when he zooms in? Zooming in, zooming in. Look at that. Do you see that speck? Does it look like the horizon's kind of blocking it? Yes. Okay. if that's true, my wife still she says she's sorry about that still. Ooh. And yes, she did make me blush. You see, now it's coming into resolution. And what's happening? We see the whole ship now. And the horizon is behind the ship.
It's a pirate.
It's exactly. So as soon as you zoom out again, then it looks to be what? Out of view. It's over a curve. It's not over a curve. And there's many of these type of the videos out there. Many of them.
That's the type of boats I used to paint for a living.
Ek lief vir jou, my vrou, hoor.
That would be the experiment we're testing.
I'm going to repeat what I said, and then you'll tell me, because that's not what I said. I said that falsifies the supposition that it was disappearing bottom up due to going over a presupposed spherical Earth.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, that's what I meant. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So that would be the experiment we could do. That
That's
could be
not
one
an
of the experiments we
experiment.
do. And we could get one of these bad
It'd be
boys.
more appropriate to call.
Yeah, it's a demonstration. It's not an experiment. And I just literally just showed you on video it happening. So there we go. You don't even have to go out and do it if you don't want to.
Yeah, they just don't know the difference, do they?
Demonstration.
Sure. Demonstration. Whatever word you want. Right. This is the baby that I'm going to be picking up.
Ooh, look what they're bringing up here, guys. Michael, you can probably see this. Yeah, it's with the equatorial mount on. We're gonna have so much fun with that other stream, though. It's going to be great.
It is very,
Select
very
fun.
specific.
Sorry?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Celestron Next Gen 6SE telescope. I'm getting it because it's one of the cheaper ones, actually. And I'm going to be planning on making observations of celestial objects, but you can also use this along with multiple cameras, and you can get different kinds of cameras just to sort of like include every possible viewing angle that we could imagine. And then we could try to make observations like that. Right?
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That would be great fun. Another
that
thing,
horizon
and so that's the
thing,
curvature stuff, and that's
Sorry?
I'm probably lagging like that.
Yeah, you were quite behind.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horizon behind that boat.
Yeah, that's what I was
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, the rising behind the boat.
Yeah, I like it a little bit. I think I see. What is it? I see. I've got an advert, an advert for a light or something.
Telescope.
No, a telescope.
A telescope, yeah.
Sorry, a light. It's a telescope.
On a fully automated go-to mount. Beautiful stuff. Yes.
Nice.
How much is that? $1,080.
What, American.
Yeah, I think it's American.
So about 750.
And then with
800.
shipping, it's another $230 or something.
Mm.
From the
Yeah.
parts from Canada. Not bad. But I would find it a waste of money to use this because I'd look at the sky and like, seen this before. What is
I
it?
won't mind getting a telescope. Not one that expensive, but
No, you see,
look, telescope just to have a little observe.
yeah, I'd get it just to, have fun with my kids, look out in the sky.
Yeah.
But not to
That's
do
it,
what
yeah.
these guys do, drool over the things they see and like, oh, it's a rock floating in the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well.
Hmm.
That's the only claim we got to today. The heliocentric model makes a bunch more claims that are evidence-free.
Can I run one by you real quick, Patrick? And
Yeah,
Nathan,
sure.
feel free to jump in, as you're going to do anyways, which is fine. Another experiment we could do is by bringing in the sun, okay? So this is a personal observation that I've made many times. And my question would be, if the Earth is flat, how could we have complete darkness on one half of the planet and light on the other half of the planet if this
Planet. What planet? How do you have dark and light on planets if it's a flat Earth? There's no planet on flat Earth, dude. And light also has its limitations. DW is actually going to try buying a spy on his neighbors. Yeah.
sun would be required to move away from us as opposed to circumnavigating us or going around us, right? On the
We
so I
never
want to
have
ask,
to
this is the question, and then go ahead. Does the angular size of the sun change throughout the day?
Okay, now, it's
Yes and no.
Mm.
Yes, optically it does, but when you use solar filters, it also still changes angularly, but very little. But that's due to parallax. That's all.
Mm.
Because sun far away. Remember?
Did you see Terry Riker's Dumb Dave videos? He did one with sun changing size on that. Good video.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
That's right, aye.
there's no denying it's changed size, like, because it goes from being massive to like tiny.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a yes and a no. Because I've seen where people use
It
solar
depends-
filters and it doesn't change that much. It changes maybe 1 or 2%.
It depends what time of year you're doing.
Also,
You know what I mean? There's many factors, like.
It is kind of one of the weird ones, isn't it?
Definitely. But yeah, like, I mean, one thing I did like about Terry, when he showed that one, he took his P900 out, and he showed the one tower, and there's a bolt on there. Now he zooms in as much as he can with that P900 onto that bolt, and he can't resolve it that well. You can hardly see it. Then he goes, takes the full moon there, and he zooms into the full moon, and he sees it 100%. Now, how is it that the moon, that's supposed to be 250,000 miles away, is now exceeding the limitations of that camera that is much closer to that light, to that tower? So the tower is much closer, and he can't resolve a bolt, but he can resolve something on the moon that's much, 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 much further away.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's crazy.
very important to note that I'm not claiming any of these. I'm not making claims about this, but one can observe on a very, very clear day the sun getting smaller and smaller in deserts. Now, in
Patrick?
moisture-rich
We've managed to lose Patrick somehow, but your question is, why does the angular
Patrick, you're
size of
back.
the
Oh,
sun
sorry.
not-
Hold on, Nathan. I just want to make sure he's back, and then feel free, okay? Patrick, are you back? Can you hear me? I just noticed his connection
Looked like
dropped.
he's frozen.
Or you can just let Nathan carry on talking instead of being rude to him, and when he comes in, he will talk. that's what I said. These guys are literally disgusting against Nathan. They're showing no respect to him whatsoever.
No, none at all.
They're going out of their way to be vulgar to him. How can I put it? That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, looks like he's frozen.
Okay, let's let him fix that. Nathan, take it away.
So you're saying, why does the apparent size of the sun not change throughout the day? Correct?
No, I was actually asking the question, does the sun change in angular size throughout the day? That was my question. And Patrick's back, so maybe Patrick finish and then Nathan go ahead.
Can we just finish real quick? But the statement, how is it that half the earth has total darkness? That's not actually true. There are times when the earth has way more visibility of the sun than the globe model would ever allow.
That's just not true.
So the notion that it has to be a ball because there's exactly half of the earth that doesn't have any sun at all given times, it's just falsifiable. It's not true. In fact, there are some days when they say that the earth is seeing 99% of all human beings are seeing the sun all at the same time. Look that stuff up. It's
That's
very interesting.
That's very true, Tent Man. They must interrupt to cover the lack of knowledge. That's true. Apparent size kryptonite for globe believers. They don't love the word apparent at all, by the way.
No, the globe model does not explain the percentage of the earth that is looking at the sun.
Okay, so then the next question is, does the angular size of the sun in the flat earth model have to change throughout the day?
What
Because
flat
it
earth
does
model would that
change
be?
away from us and towards us, right? It's moving on the record player, right?
What flat earth model would that be? I haven't claimed any flat earth model. That's the first thing. And secondly,
Well, there is no flat earth model, first of all, but I'm just curious what you think about the sun. How do we resolve the issue with the sun?
when you say there is no flat earth model, that's not true. They're all
Very true, Keith. Very true, mate.
flat earth models.
Can
All
we
of the
make
maps.
predictions on it? Do we
No.
have an actual scientific model where you can make
Scientific
predictions?
model. Again, these guys don't even know what science is now. They're saying scientific model. Your globe isn't a scientific model. There's no science for your globe at all. Oh man.
And you can do those equations and have repeatable experiments? Do you have that model in place? Do you have,
Yeah, Gary, that's what I said. It depends sometimes. Even changes sometimes with the solar filter. The guys don't actually understand what the hell they're talking about.
any footage of the edge of the earth? Like, this is what I mean. Like, we don't have an actual...
Spuddy, if I knew, I would tell you with love. But I definitely don't know what the sun is. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm not going to speculate and say what it is.
It's a hot light.
Okay, let's go.
Admitted by Jeranism and all the many of the flat earthers.
Oh, don't bring up Jeranism, please.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm actually thinking of and I don't want to talk about Jaren anymore, but I was really thinking, with this whole thing where P Brain is talking with him about the Bible and stuff. I was thinking I actually want to also do a response to Jeranism on that, even though because P Brain is in the same ball I am, where he's taking Jaren on. Oh no, Jaren is disgusting.
Definitely.
Jaren is not a flat earther, guys. I'm sorry.
No.
Listen, the Jaren is leading people astray from God. There'll be a nice little place for him when he meets his maker.
Yeah, especially how he's talking about God.
Exactly right. I mean, he admits there's a creator, but he doesn't believe in the biblical God. In fact, he mocks him.
Yeah, well, he was brought up Catholic.
He tries to mock God, but the thing is, right, God can't be mocked. You know what I mean? God cannot be mocked, and God has got the judgment, and he'll be judged for it. Simple as that.
Well, he was brought up Catholic, so there's your reasons.
Yeah.
He thinks the Catholics wrote the Bible, guys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. They might have canonized it, but they didn't write it.
Yeah. Very sad.
Because they say, yeah, we don't have a model. We just have our counter evidence to your evidence. Do you agree
I was
with
in the
that?
middle of
Do you have
saying
a
something
model
opposite to
present?
that, but I got stepped all over. I'll try again to contradict what you've just said. Other people say that aren't me. All of them are flat
No, I'm
Earth
asking
models.
you.
That's the second attempt. I'll count them off. All of the models, including your globe model, are flat Earth models.
Including Google Earth. Go look at the topography layout. Look at its elevation angles. Flat Earth. Just because they do the art on a curved ball does not mean it's a globe model. It's mapped out flat.
Yep.
Literally.
All of them are using the latitude lines that are derived by way of a measurement. That's an in reality measurement of Polaris on a flat plane. Those angle measurements to Polaris and the degree that it drops towards the horizon as you move away from it give you the latitude lines. That's flat Earth elevation angle measurements to derive the concept that is used to give you your globe model. Now, models aren't science. Science deals exclusively with phenomenon. That's things happening, flat Earth or globe Earth for that matter. That's a concrete noun outside the purview of science. You keep appealing to this like it's science. It is not. Meanwhile,
Have you guys noticed they haven't once tried to rebut that it's not science? So they know it's actually not science, but they're still just doing it. They're still calling it science.
debunked the mathematical assertion that the horizon is at a geometric limitation to boats and buildings by showing that it isn't. Debunking the geometry. You don't need to trust anything. The maths is
But I
laid
don't
down,
trust it.
set in
That's why we're going to do
stone.
the experiments. He didn't really debunk
What
it. He
experiment?
had an answer. There's answers to your answers. We can go on forever. Let's do the experiment together and just prove it once and for all.
What's
I'm
the
asking about
experiment?
the sun, Nathan.
What's the
Does the
experiment?
sun change
Hey, what's
in
an
angular
experiment?
size throughout the day on a flat Earth or not?
The not actual size of the sun. You're asking me why does the not actual size of the sun, that's angular size,
Does the
not
sun get
change?
bigger?
Yeah, exactly. Nathan, you should have asked him hypothesis, please.
Yeah.
I would have asked him,
Yeah.
okay, hypothesis, please.
And smaller throughout the day based on where it's located and where you're viewing it.
And that's angular size, not actual size.
That's what I said, the angular size. Yeah, does that change?
The not actual size change?
Does the sun change in size?
In not actual size, angular size.
They don't get it.
Sun's gonna get smaller.
They don't get it. He's literally telling them in their face. Not
Yeah.
actually changing. It's an apparent angular size change. Optical. Wow.
Angular, not actual size. That's the third time I've said it.
Right, because of your so the actual it's not like we're saying you got the sun is growing and shrinking like as an actual object. I'm not saying that. Let me rephrase it. From my perspective, viewing the sun, if I were to track it throughout the day, and obviously I would never stare directly at the sun, never do that. Let's say I got a really nice camera with a decent zoom on it.
Spuddy, I'm gonna start handing crayons out. That's a good one. Yeah, what model did I miss presenting of the heliocentric? Exactly. I still have yet to find an actual model for the globe. They have a whole bunch of models, but they don't
Yeah.
have a model.
Yeah, that's what Neil said. Neil said, what model? Did I miss the presentation of the heliocentric model? Yeah, exactly. Can I just say there's like 60, 61 in chat. That's really good.
Yeah, it's good. We were sitting at 65 actually for a while.
Oh, 65, okay.
I was just going to say, models, flat earth models, aren't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's good to see so much people in chat. Thank you all. It's showing you guys are actually sharing the show and liking. So thank you.
Yes.
Really, really appreciate all the support. You guys are
Brilliant.
great.
And I put a solar filter on front of that camera, and I literally just mount it on an equatorial mount that would actually track the sun throughout the day, and I let it run for, say, a few days in a row. Will I see the actual size of that sun change based on perspective? Because it would have to be moving forwards and backwards Because what's a sunset otherwise, right? This is the argument that you guys will bring if I say, I've watched the sun.
Let's see if it's gonna bring us the right ones up. Jefferson Lab. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. Changing size. Sunset. Okay, it just appears red. It's amazing that we have to go through all this stuff. It looks like we're gonna have to do a part 4, guys. I don't think we're gonna need to do that, but yeah.
Jolly man, CIA got to Arwen. Hopefully not.
Yeah, clinically insane anti-flat earthers. Okay, I don't think it's gonna really see, that's the problem with YouTube though. All the ones you gotta have for flat earth is usually pushed to the back. You have to go through all the nonsense first until you can finally get the ones you're looking for.
That's it.
I mean, what has this got to do with what I'm taking? Sun changing angular size. I changed my doll into Wednesday. I mean,
I get when I go into my YouTube now, I get recommendations of like your videos from 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
But that's a good thing though. I'm glad.
Yeah, it is definitely. I like some of the old videos.
Let's look at this one. Yeah, although my old videos aren't as good as my newer ones, I would say. But at least I have some good information on there, and I want to remake some of them.
Oh, do you know something? That would be a good mission. That's a good little mission.
Oh, everything's freezing again. Uh-oh. Exit pages.
Yeah, redoing some of your old ones. That would be a good task. Good little project.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's look at some time-lapse videos. See if the sun doesn't change angular size as they put it.
Sometimes it squishes up a little bit, doesn't it? The sun. It kind of looks a little bit oblique.
Exactly. It also depends where you are, what you're doing, the time of day.
Show Terry's video.
Sorry?
Show that video of Terry's because it's a perfect example.
Is it on Dumb Dave, is it?
Yeah, I think it might be the first one or second one.
Check it there. How's that? Is that looking like it's coming towards us and growing in angular size? Obviously, Michael's not going to be able to sit down.
I can't. I'm still looking at you scrolling through.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
And now it's going.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, now it's setting and it's going. What? It's going smaller in angular size.
Yeah.
Something that they just said you wouldn't be able to see. There we go. Oh, whoops. Okay, so we obviously don't have to show all of them because time. But yeah.
Go below the horizon. I see it multiple times, and I've seen it come up from the horizon until it's a full sphere in the sky. So in the flat Earth explanation, it would have to go away from you, right?
Like
Similar
we just saw,
to
yeah.
the boats on the horizon. That's the only way it would work on a flat surface. So if that's true, then we would see an observable difference in the angular size of the sun relative to the observer.
And not actual size.
And not actual size, yeah.
I'd like to answer this.
Well, he's put it to me. No, that is what the sun does as it goes away from you.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how I know?
So it gets smaller.
My bad, only one
It gets
sentence.
smaller.
Only about 2 or 3 minutes from you. One sentence from me. Maybe you call me a dick. I'll try again. In celestial navigation, you measure your position to the horizon. Now, if the sun is above the horizon, its GP location, that's the point below the sun on the ground, i.e. if the sun was above you at your zenith, can be, and often is, beyond the horizon. So when you measure your angle to the horizon and the GP location of the star, it's beyond the limitation of your view at the horizon. So when you say it's going over the horizon, you mean over the physical geometric limitation to your view at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height feet, aka Earth curve hill getting in the way, that we debunked? Definitely not. Meanwhile, in celestial navigation, you can measure its position beyond the horizon after you establish the ground as level to get an angle to the sun to find out where your location is. That's called celestial navigation. It only works on a flat plane. It only works with angle measurements from Polaris, that's your latitude lines, that were measured from a flat plane. That's why all the maps are flat. So, no, the sun doesn't go beyond the horizon.
So, Nathan, give me a straight answer. Does the size of the sun, on my perspective, change? And why do I see, as the sun is going over the horizon, I don't see the whole sun disappear. I see it half, like a quarter of a sun, then half a sun, then three, you know, like it's dipping down. I'm seeing it disappear downwards. And
Just like we see with boats going over the horizon, bottom up obstruction, over flat surfaces, perspective, convergence. Why would you expect the whole thing at once to just zip? And by the way, that's also been observed a lot with the sun, where it literally goes away and into a dot and gone. We've seen that a lot as well. It's also been observed. You know, like the green flash of the sun. Sunset time-lapse green flash. Let's see. Where was it? No, there was another one. Anyway, there is a few of them where it goes, literally you can see it going out into the distance away, and then it makes a green flash. Oh, I think missing curve research. The missing research, there we go. I think he's actually did one as well. Do go subscribe to him, guys. Also awesome channel. Gonna copy the link and stick it in here for you guys. Awesome channel to subscribe to. There, mini green flash. This is like
cool. Let's have a look at that.
the playback speed. I'm just gonna put it a bit faster.
Turn it back like that. Good. That's great.
Can the globers explain the green flash when it goes and has a sets into the distance? Quite beautiful. Look at that. It's kind of squashing into what now? Look at that. It's like squashing into an egg shape.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to happen to a physical?
Wish I could see it.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
It looks like an egg-shaped sun.
Okay, but you saw that. You see it like squashed. But anyway, I can't find the one where there's another one where it literally you see it go into the distance and it becomes smaller. But yeah, that's more. We can do a stream on that another time.
Cool.
And I'm watching the same phenomenon in the morning, right from my deck, and it's coming up, and you see the top, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. Then it's in the sky, right? That's what I'm witnessing. And so, if you're saying that the sun, the reason the sun is setting and rising, is because it's vanishing from my field of vision.
I didn't make this claim.
Then I would see the whole thing shrink into the smallest little dot to the like a pinhead,
Would you?
and then it would just I couldn't see it anymore. I would not see the shape.
I gotta find it because this guy's really making this. I think DTRH also showed one of those videos.
I'm having a look for timestamp for that one, Terry Rikers as well.
Yeah,
Alright.
Which is good.
I just gotta find this video, guys, just so we can show it. Because you see, the problem with Globe, guys, is if you don't show them, then they just say, "Oh, you're just making shit up," you know.
Is this the one with the sun fading into the distance?
And it
or
becomes
anything
small,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, aye. I know which one you're on about.
But it's not just from me. There were other people as well. But I'm just where is it? Oh man, I don't know what the name is of the one he was showing. I wonder if it's this one. Oh, Flat Sabbath. Thank you very much. Oopsie. Oh, the Fata Morgana. This is beautiful. Rakia, also brilliant stuff. This is like... It shows you, look where the mirror is. You see where we can see the apparent horizon here. But this is where the mirroring is starting. This high. This is like awesome stuff. Also, yeah, Rakia, definitely worth it to go and subscribe to him. Okay. Is it this one? Come on. Okay. 93 million miles away? Definitely not. Hey, Iron Horse, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. Yeah, Iron Horse, that's why I love telling these guys. Okay, if you look at parallax like a mountain that is, let's say, 100 kilometers away from you, is it going to change angular size if you're driving away from it compared to a mountain that's 10 kilometers away from you? No, it won't. I'm going to put it a bit faster. See if it maybe gonna... Yeah, the end is the best part, Flatter, but I'm going to keep it rather for another stream. So keep it, because I'm trying to show you... but yeah, you're right. On Rakia's one, it also kind of vanishes into that green... what's the name at the end? Whew. Come on. I don't know if it's that one. I don't think it's that one. Yeah, we are not moving. Okay, no, it's not that one, guys. I really want to find it. Sun approach. There we go. There we go. Here it is, dudes. Check at this. Tell me this is not changing angular size as it's going away and stuff when it sets. And it's coming. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Oh. Hey Mark, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Sorry, this is really getting difficult. But you can already see it's going to change angular size coming closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then tomorrow night, I think we'll carry on with season number 4.
Right.
Yeah, convergence, exactly, Iron Horse. Horizon is just an apparent position. The convergence, everything convergence is into that. Okay, I don't know. And I'm not going to download every video from David Weiss just so we can see a sun setting into the distance.
No.
Okay, anyway, guys, you should be able to find it, I hope. It's difficult to find this stuff. Sun fade. So this one. Thank you very much, 10th man. Phew. Yeah, there we go, DTRH.
Ooh.
5 minutes in 30 seconds. 1000% speed. Do I have it still on 2? Normal speed. Let's put on 1.75. There we go. The sun does not go down. Regular speed, real time, okay. Whew. No, you're definitely not falling over backwards.
No.
No, unfortunately, Jaren is not a very, how can I put it, in my good books. I try to be nice to him, but you guys saw the messages he sent to me on what's the name? Ooh, look at that. Is it this one, Michael?
I've posted you an element
Yeah, I got it.
timestamp.
Also, guys, Terry channel, brilliant channel. Do subscribe, please. Flat Out Truth, brilliant channel.
It also shows a guy walking down a football field in a pair of shorts, and he gradually disappears till like shorts and ground by it.
That's right.
There we go.
Prime example of bottom up.
I wonder if I can just speed it up a bit.
It's simple. It's simple as well.
Okay, now it's buffering again.
I've just had a nightmare trying to find it. My YouTube's not working right.
But you see, it's difficult.
It's every time you stream, my YouTube just don't want to work.
It's a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you.
Conspiracy.
Woo! Man, I'm getting hot.
And I can't even go fishing because the canal's frozen over again.
All you need to do is just take some grenades with you. Make some holes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Look at that, guys.
I wouldn't need a rod then.
Yeah. There we go. It's seeming to go down into the convergence, and it's doing what? Getting smaller in angular size.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Thank you, Michael. This is what I was looking for. There we go. So when the guy says we do not see this, BS. There we go. Thank you very much. You were wrong, DW, once again.
Obscured by the horizon. I wouldn't see that.
Like a brick that disappears at 4 miles.
I'm not talking about bricks, I'm talking about the sun.
Well, no, we're talking about things that you said get blocked by the horizon. There's a physical geometric limitation at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height peak. That's an Earth curve hill getting in the way that the sun's going behind in this
Circular
description.
argument, no joke.
My bad, I'm just summarising his position, haven't actually refuted it yet. Of course, that's the first time.
Refute it. Why do I see that? Explain it.
I was in the middle of it.
Change?
I was in the middle of summarising your position to refute it, but then somebody's talked, and now you're asking me to do it again. Just another interruption. Yeah, if the horizon was Earth curve, it would be at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height peak. A hill, geometric in limitations, to get in the way of the sun. We've debunked that. The horizon's not.
Verbalson, thank you for coming. The reason I would say, I'm not going to say it on the stream, but you can watch on my channel. You'll see the reason why I say he's just acting as a flat earther. He's literally just there to disrupt, as I can put it. How can I put it? Get people out of flat earth and not to believe in God. That's it.
Yep.
Sorry, that's just my opinion, but the evidence speaks for itself.
I've been under that opinion me for years, so it's proved what I thought about him. What's happened recently has proved what I suspected for years. So
yeah, it's confirmation, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, everybody's got their own opinions about it, but that's just my opinion. And well, yeah, there's a video on my channel if you want to see it.
I remember, I can't remember how long ago it was. It might have been about a year ago. can't remember who he was addressing, but he was talking about have like a penis sizing competition. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was against. Wasn't it against Rakia?
Is that who it was?
I think it was with Rakia. Or was it Jake the Asshole? No, it was Jake the Asshole.
Right. Oh, it was Jake the Asshole.
Yeah.
But I'd say that reducing everything to a penis sizing competition, that's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Tent, it's about the money. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna end it here tonight.
Okay.
Then we're gonna look at carrying on. We'll do part 4 tomorrow. It should be finished then tomorrow, I think, because yeah, I am a bit.
It feels like we flew
feeling
through
uncomfortable.
it.
Getting really hot.
It feels like we've flown through this.
Spuddy says, "Flats, mention him again, and you're getting a crayon." But yeah, like I said, he's just it's my opinion on him. I'm not telling anybody to have the same opinions or anything. I gave my reasons, and I stick to it. So yeah, so I just want to say thank you everybody for coming. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Michael and PJ, for being in the chat. It's always good to have you guys.
No
Yeah.
problem.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And yeah, everybody that came tonight, thank you. We had quite a large audience, so that was great. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you for all your support. Appreciate it very muchly. Thanks. Ian also actually wanted to ask you, we should actually team up sometime on a debate, mate. Because I think you do quite a few on modern days. I would love to actually team up with you sometime. Let me know.
Are you on about Iron Horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, man.
An awesome debate against Reed, mate. He did a good debate against Reed. Very good.
Even better when he does it from his hot tub.
Yeah, when he does it in the hot tub, just relaxed in the hot tub, it's awesome. Oh yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah. So thanks everybody for coming. Really appreciate all you guys. Thank you to all the members and patron supporters and super chatters and everything. You guys are really the bloodline of this channel. So thanks again. See you guys all tomorrow night for part 4. Many blessings. May the pressure be with you.